Hi, I'm Jason Gorber for ThatShelf.com, and we're here to talk about the Middle-earth 31-disc Ultimate Edition.
Big shelf.
So, for those of us that have been collecting all things Lord of the Rings for some times, and Hobbit and all of those other elements, this is sort of a long time coming to actually get what we thought was going to be the ultimate sort of deluxe set. Peter Jackson is somebody that is one of these filmmakers that absolutely embrace the sort of the prime moment of home video, where he realized as a director he could not only do things such as, you know, have extended versions, that he knew that when he had a theatrical release, he inevitably could have another release on home video, which would allow him to sort of extend his vision. But he also recorded just hours and hours and hours and hours, hundreds of hours of footage of the making of the films. And the result of that was numerous documentaries, numerous commentaries, and all of those other elements. And we have seen over the years release after release after release of The Lord of the Rings and eventually The Hobbit films. And the hope was, I mean, it might have been futile, but the hope was that this set, this 31-disc monster set from Warner, was going to be the be-all and end-all. This was going to include basically everything that we wanted, including all the new stuff. Unfortunately, 31 discs, and there's really one disc of extras on here that's new, compared to the stuff that came out just a few months ago, which were these two sets. And we'll have many links to the videos below. But this was The Hobbit in 4K and Lord of the Rings in 4K. 4K only, not a redo of the films. Came in these little sort of black plastic sets, and these are straight up versions of the films, all in 4K. So if you actually want any of the elements, say on Blu-ray, you're sort of out of luck, because what he did was he did a new color timing of the films. And for those that were looking at sort of in 1080p, this wasn't the way you're going to get it. This was the sort of ultimate version, the high resolution version that we were going to get, but that was it. What this gets you then is essentially everything that's on those two sets, plus the Blu-ray versions, plus, as I said, this extra disc, which includes the Alamo Drafthouse Lord of the Rings cast reunion to honor the 20th anniversary of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Alamo Drafthouse reunited Middle-earth's finest for 3 special conversations hosted by Stephen Colbert. And really, I mean, I've been holding off on watching this. I'm going to do a marathon of this. But that's really, is that worth you buying this entire set when you already have those two? I kind of leave that up to you. What is frustrating, though, is that the massive documentaries that are included on some of the anthology sets are not here. A long-promised additional documentary, sort of retrospective documentary, is not on here. And for people like me who still hold on to the whole notion of what the director's intent were for at least 3 of the films in here, the 3D versions are not available in here. I know it's almost impossible now to actually see 3D except for projector systems. I still have a 65-inch OLED that I keep primarily as a second TV, spare TV, but it gives me 3D capabilities that unfortunately I cannot get with this television behind me. I'll repeat what I said before. The visuals I actually think are quite stunning. I think that the restoration or re-up-resing that he did, for the most part, did an excellent job. The HDR color grading for the most part is really excellent, especially compared to some of the stuff that he did on Blu-ray. Again, he keeps messing with it. And the set itself is quite gorgeous. I mean, as I open it up, it's this sort of thing that gets to unfold. You have nested discs within discs. So you sort of open it up this way, and you have magnetically sealed so that each of them sort of unfolds into this. And then as I sort of do a Z fold here, I have the individual discs, each sort of there, available to be pulled out. We have The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings set with all the extras as sort of one massive disc, and then all the other ones that. So if I actually pull this open, inside here we have the extra stuff. So what do we have in here for our fun? We have a whole bunch of digital streaming codes. Lucky us. Digital movie codes, digital movie codes. We have the special features single disc. It's on sort of a CD box. We have a collection of costume sketches, a nice little book. You know, it has, you know, different elements here. And then we have here a series of cards, posters for the original elements, and then the digital movie code for all of that. So that's in the extra little box. And then each one of these, this is the Oscar-winning Return of the King. It's simply another sort of straight-up 4K box. And inside here, we have the discs unfold, including Blu-ray and 4K, and these sort of foldy discs. So, you want this to be the absolute dream release. You want this to be the be-all and end-all that can replace everything that came before. It's simply not that, unfortunately. And if the extra stuff wasn't very good, it wouldn't be a big deal at all. The fact of the matter is that some of these documentaries are truly extraordinary. There's documentaries that they made during the making of the films, and those were included on the earliest releases, DVD releases. And then when the eventual Blu-ray release came out, we got this other slew of these feature-length documentaries on one special edition release, which are extraordinary. Really amazing insights into the making of the films. The Hobbit, they never really went back and did a retrospective look in the way that would have been nice. Yes, we have these interviews, but we don't actually have the same kind of powerful making of that we had. Sketches, elements of the Del Toro project would have been amazing. I know that there's all kinds of drama surrounding that, so it was unlikely that we're going to get that. But the fact of the matter is Del Toro's still credited as one of the producers of the film, I think he is. Writer or producer, but producer anyway, to recognize his contribution the year that he spent there. They touch on some of it, but it would have been amazing to actually see a coming together and actually have some elements of maybe the film that would have been. There's lots of reasons that it happened, but to have a little bit of distance and actually do a true, for lack of a better word, a journalistic documentary about this, just for the sake of film history, would have been, I think, quite extraordinary. I'm actually a fan of the Hobbit films. I don't think they're amazing, but I think that they're a wonderful extension of Peter Jackson's vision. They're a continuation of what he did before. Equally, I would have loved someone else to have taken the mantle and gone with it in a very different way. So, you know, I would have liked both of them in different ways, and I think that would have been fair. And it would have been very interesting to actually have a documentary that did that. So, as it stands, I got a lot of watching to do. We got this giant box to go through all in one place. It is extremely attractive. It's well put together. It's a beautiful set. If you did not pick up the 4K sets, even if you don't have a 4K television, this obviously has the Blu-ray sets in them, well worth having. I think that the upgrade is well worth it, but really this is a reason to pick up a 4K. I highly recommend an OLED to experience these films as best as they can be within the comfort of your own home. For ThatShelf.com, I'm Jason Gorber. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, please follow us on social media, and we will see you next video. All the best.